Hi, I'm Flossary. Siyuan also works. I'm from China with a background in visual communication design, so I've explored kinds of media, typography, branding, books, interfaces, so on. But I've always felt that design is more than just clean visuals or clear messaging. I use visual media not just to communicate, but to raise questions, create experiences, and sometimes to spark a little confusion and imagination. My practice usually around two core themes. One is the critical observation of society and personal experience. The other is imagining how future technologies might transform how we perceive, connect, and feel. I don't limit myself to a single medium. Each idea chooses its own form. My work ranges from traditional visual languages like graphic design and typography to more experimental formats such as sound installations, AR, and video. I see media not just a tool to express, but as a space where conversations can begin. Tomorrowland was my first attempt at combining sound with interactive installation. During this project, I found myself with technique limitations, especially in programming, which led me to a shift in thinking. Technology isn't a barrier, it's a language. The way I use it shapes what I can say. And that made me ask, what role does technology really play in my work? One of my current works is InfoFlood, an interactive installation inspired by the concept of information overload and Buddha's reincarnation. In this piece, information is constantly generated, repeated, and processed, yet meaning seems to dissolve in the process. What I want to express is more information doesn't always lead to more understanding. If I think about it, in the past, I was really focused on concepts. I loved building big ideas, imagined words, visual metaphors, complete systems of meaning. But lately, it is not so much about the end result. I've become more interested in how things are made, in the process itself. My newer projects feel more open, more alive. I don't need everything to be perfect or clear anymore. I want the audience to see how something is generated, to notice the glitches, the randomness, even the failure. That's where I think the magic is now. Not in control, but in letting go a little. Honestly, after trying a lot of different things, I started to realize something about myself. I'm not someone who's obsessed with coding or super passionate about AI or 3D modeling just for the sake of it. What I really enjoy is bringing a sense of experimentation into graphic design, playing with the unpredictability and letting things go a little off track on purpose. I love combining visuals with code to build small systems or tools that generated images, not to control the outcome, but to see what happens when I give up some control. So instead of calling myself an artist, I actually feel more comfortable being called a creative designer. Someone who navigates between visual culture and algorithm media, someone who uses design not just to solve problems, but to ask better questions.